How's it going, everybody? Me again with another tutorial. So this time I wanted to show you Open Broadcast Studio. It's what I've been using to make most of my software, my videos, the software that I use. So I figured, why not show you how to use it? So where you want to go is obsproject.com, and this is the page that you'll see. Now, when you first see OBS, it is a little bit daunting because of the amount of sort of technical knowledge that it looks like you need. But as you'll see, it's actually quite straightforward to set up. There's a version of Windows, Mac, and even Linux, if anybody's still using Linux these days. So depending on which version you want, most of you will be using Windows, and it's about 70 meg. If we go back, let's have a look. How big's the Apple version? 103, so slightly larger. Okay, now I'm not going to actually install these because I've already got it installed. I'm currently using it now, and I'm going to drag over the window and show you what it looks like. It's going to be interesting because you're going to see it going cascading off into the distance of tunnels. So here's what I mean. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see, it looks kind of alarming, but it just goes off into infinity. Now, basically, you have several different features here. So the sources are basically what you are recording. I've got 3 monitors. Now, for example, if I over on my right window, I'll close that so it stops beeping. I had Facebook open while I was talking to somebody, and I've also got my main monitor. I don't actually film that one because the resolution is too high. It's a 3340 by 1440 from memory. So that resolution, if you try and compress it into 1080, it just looks a bit funny. But my other 2 screens are just standard full HD screens. So this is my second screen, and you can turn screens on or off via this feature. You can, for example, if I drag the video camera below monitor 2, I will disappear. So if I put it on top of monitor 2, I reappear. So it's based on where the things are in order, is basically where they will sit. So at the minute the webcam is at the top, so that will always appear there. If I press this button, I disappear. If I want to come back again, I click the button again. You can also add scenes. So OBS is generally used for live streaming. So if you were going to have a toilet break or a food break, you might have a screen that says, I'll be right back in 5 minutes, for example. So you can put that there and then drag that over to the top when you need it, and bam, that will appear while you go and have your break. So that's generally what these 2 bars are for. Here you've got the audio mixer, so you can see you can lower your desktop audio. I've got my Blue Yeti microphone. As you can see, as I'm talking, it's being picked up right now. And then you've got the streaming feature, the recording feature. There's a studio mode that looks a bit different, and the settings. I'm going to go to the settings right now and show you what I've got checked. So once you've downloaded OBS, if you want to achieve videos similar to mine, just check the same settings as what I did. I actually looked on YouTube and followed a couple of guides to try and get the best settings in terms of quality versus file size. So I'm using the dark theme by default. I believe it's not that one. Not that one. That one. System is the default theme. I personally prefer the dark theme. It looks better in my opinion. So you can start with a dialog box if you like. I haven't got that checked. Output, you've got the various confirmations. So when you finish streaming, you can have a checkup box. I turned those off just because I honestly couldn't be bothered having to click an extra time. Then you got your streaming options. So for example, if you've got a YouTube channel, you can get a stream key, and once you've got that, you paste it in here to connect the channel. Just be aware, if you are setting up a channel, you do need to wait 24 hours once you paste in that stream key before it goes live. So if you want to start streaming, just give yourself at least a day's notice because you do have to wait 24 hours before you can stream. Now the output, this is basically how the video will look. So these are the settings I've used for streaming. So you can use CBR, CQP, VBR or lossless. Obviously lossless would be really high quality and probably not the best for streaming on Australia's internet. Go the NBN, not. The various bit rates, obviously again, the higher the bit rate, the better the quality, but the larger the file is going to be, maybe your internet can't handle it. The various preset qualities, so you can go from max quality right down to the low latency. Apologies for those pop-ups. So at the minute I've got just quality, this is default, and the profile set to high. I've got psycho-visual tuning turned in, GPO set to 0, and max B frames set to 2. Just bear with me. For audio, again, so recording, so that's for streaming. So most of you probably won't do streaming. If you've got a video card, you might want to click here. Just excuse me one second, I'm going to turn my sound off. There we go. So on here, you can see you've got your sort of encoder set. If you've got a video card and video, for example, use that one. Otherwise, it'll use your GPU, which generally won't be as powerful. But here you can put where you're going to record your files to. It won't let me do it now because I'm actually filming a video. But normally you can change this. The way you want to locate it is here. You just put it into a folder with lots of space, just in case the file sizes are larger than you expect. So you want probably a good, terabyte drive or something like that to store your videos on. More is better. You've got your recording format. I believe from memory it's set to MKV by default to allow you to manipulate more audio tracks. I tend to switch it to MP4 as these are slightly smaller. Again, I've set my encoder as my graphics card because I've got a powerful, expensive one in there. And if you, depending on the resolution you've got, you can rescale this down to 720p to save on size. However, if you are recording for the purpose of, documents and the likes to work with students, you want higher resolution, otherwise the text is blurry. So probably just, if you're filming in 1080p, keep it at 1080p. So I changed the rate control from CBR to CQP, basically because that's what the video I watched told me to do. I believe I changed this from 20 down to 15 for a little bit higher quality. I changed it from 0 to 2, and again I went from max quality, profile high, look ahead, GPU 0, max frames 2. And audio, I just basically don't believe I changed those. And down here I left it at 44.1 hertz stereo. Now you can pick where your audio is, so make sure your desktop audio, whatever it is, so mine is through my current headset, the Astro Mix Amp. I don't have any other sound, and my microphone is the Blue Yeti, great microphone, well worth the price. And there's the rest of the settings. Okay, and so as you can see, the monitor that I'm using is a 1920 by 1080. The scaled output is exactly the same. So if I was using my main monitor, it's 4K, and when it outputs it down to 1080p, it stretches everything out, so the text is really skinny and tall, and it just doesn't look nice. So while it's a beautiful monitor to work on, it's not great for recording screencasts on, so just be aware of that. You can set up your hotkeys. So for example, I've got start my streams with F8, stop my streams with F8, start recording with F9. If I want to pause the recording, I can hit F10. Make sure you hit the right button, not the wrong one. And again, if I want to unpause again. So you can customize these as you like. Lastly, advanced. I don't believe I went through any of these because it's probably above most people's heads, and mine in some cases. So cancel that. And so now whatever I have on this monitor is what you will be seeing when I record. So I've got a welcome to OBS, no matter what I pull up here. So for example, I can pull up Teams, go to my activity feed, go to my various teams. Everything on this monitor will be recorded until I stop the recording. And I've got my webcam in the middle up here. Again, a separate webcam. This is a Logitech C930E from memory. Full 1080p webcam, does a pretty good job. So if you're using a laptop, obviously the camera is going to be lower down, so this one's slightly higher up. I look better from above, that's why, as opposed to being looked at from below. So just remember to move these around, have a play, because the file sizes for OBS are fantastically small, well worth looking at. So if I just find where I've put everything, bear with me 1 second. Here we go. So the last couple of videos I've made, this is the one that's currently recording. So my Screencast-O-Matic video, that was 75 meg. The introductions to Teams video was 100, and my file type search video was 284. So different sizes, however, all relatively small. Other software, when you're recording a screencast in 1080p, you can be looking at gigabytes worth of file sizes. So overall, it's pretty good. Okay, so that's about that for OBS. If you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to look me up on Teachers of Adelaide. Like and subscribe to my to my YouTube channel, or send me an email. It's simon.baker973, usual department emails. So there you go. I hope you found that useful and you get on the screencast bandwagon. Until then, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks guys. Bye.